11th September 2001 attacks, commonly known as 9/11, were a result of a complex web of political, religious, and historical motivations primarily orchestrated by the Islamist militant group Al-Qaeda under the leadership of Osama bin Laden. The roots of the attack can be traced back to the 1990s when bin Laden declared a militant jihad against the United States, issuing public statements and fatwas that sharply criticized American foreign policy in the Middle East, particularly its support for Israel, military presence in Saudi Arabia, and interventions in Muslim-majority countries such as Iraq and Somalia. Bin Laden and other Al-Qaeda leaders viewed the US as the principal enemy of Islam, accusing it of supporting oppressive regimes in the Arab world and enabling actions against Muslims in places like Chechnya, Kashmir, and Lebanon. Al-Qaeda's stated motives included a desire to retaliate against what they saw as American aggression and injustices against Muslims globally. The presence of US troops in Saudi Arabia, home to Islam's holiest sites, was particularly provocative for bin Laden and his followers, who considered it a violation of sacred land. Additionally, the US led sanctions on Iraq during the 1990s, which caused widespread suffering among Iraqi civilians, fueled further resentment. Al-Qaeda also cited US support for Israel, especially during the Second Intifada, as a direct catalyst for the attacks, viewing American policy as complicit in the suffering of Palestinians. Beyond these specific grievances, Al-Qaeda's ideology was deeply influenced by a broader sense of humiliation and decline felt in parts of the Muslim world, exacerbated by globalization and the perceived dominance of Western values and power. Bin Laden and his associates believed that dramatic, spectacular violence was necessary to wake up the Muslim world and inspire resistance against what they saw as Western imperialism. The attack was also designed to provoke the United States into military overreach in the Muslim world, hoping to rally more Muslims to Al-Qaeda's cause and destabilize regimes allied with the West. Operationally, the 9/11 plot was conceived by Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who brought the idea of using hijacked planes as weapons to bin Laden in the late 1990s. Al-Qaeda provided the resources, training, and personnel, selecting operatives who could blend into Western society and learn to fly commercial jets. The attacks targeted symbols of American economic and military power. The World Trade Center in New York and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., with a fourth plane, United Flight 93, believed to be headed for either the White House or the Capitol before it crashed in Pennsylvania after passengers intervened. Psychologically, the attacks were meant to demonstrate US vulnerability and shatter the image of American invincibility, hoping to force a strategic recalibration of US foreign policy and deter future interventions in the Middle East. Bin Laden also sought to frame the violence as a religious duty, issuing religious justifications and portraying the attacks as a form of redemption and resistance against those he deemed enemies of Islam. The 9/11 Commission report and subsequent analysis confirm that Al-Qaeda's leadership believed such a high-profile attack would fundamentally alter the global balance of power and inspire further jihadist activity. In summary, the 9/11 attacks happened because Al-Qaeda, motivated by a combination of political grievances, religious ideology, and a desire for strategic impact, sought to retaliate against US actions in the Muslim world and provoke a broader conflict that would serve their goals. The consequences of the attack were profound, leading to the US-led war on terror, invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq, and a reshaping of global security policies that continue to reverberate today.